They had said it to her so many times that the words no longer shocked her. They only settled deeper into her bones like winter cold that never leaves. You are too big for a wife. Too tall, too broad-shouldered, too strong in the arms, too heavy in the step. In a town where women were praised for softness and silence, Ilara was neither. She worked the land alongside men, lifted grain sacks without help, and stood eye to eye with those who mocked her. And for that she was unwanted. Her father had died early, leaving her and her mother to survive by sheer endurance. When her mother passed, Ilara was left alone at the edge of the settlement, farming a stubborn strip of land no one else wanted. Matchmakers stopped coming. Women whispered. Men laughed. One had said it plainly once, not even cruelly. Just honest, you'd break a husband without trying. From that day on, Ilara stopped pretending she was waiting for anything. But fate does not ask permission. Beyond the settlement lay land most people feared. Open plains scarred by history, where Apache riders still traveled not as legends, but as watchful guardians of what remained theirs. Stories painted them as shadows and danger. Ilara had never believed the stories. Fear always grows loud where understanding is small. The day she met him, the sky was burning white with heat. Ilara had gone farther than usual to retrieve a stray calf when the ground beneath her shifted. The horse startled. She fell hard, pain slicing through her leg. Alone, miles from help. She did not scream. That was the first thing he noticed. Taza of the Apache watched from a rise, his presence silent as wind. He had seen settlers panic before, cry, beg. This woman did neither. She tore cloth from her sleeve, bound her leg with shaking hands, and forced herself upright using a broken branch as support. Strength recognizes strength. When he stepped into view, she reached for a stone, not in fear, but readiness. That made him pause. Most saw an Apache and saw death. She saw a man and prepared to stand. He spoke calmly, offered water, gestured to her leg. Ilara hesitated, then nodded. He helped her without touching more than necessary, movements careful, respectful. When she tried to rise again, her body betrayed her. She fell, and Taza caught her weight without effort. Her size did not surprise him. Her heaviness did not repel him. He simply adjusted his stance and held. No man had ever done that. As he carried her toward his camp, Ilara faded in and out of consciousness, hearing the steady rhythm of his breathing. For the first time in her life, she was not being measured, judged, or compared. She was simply carried. And somewhere between pain and sleep, something inside her shifted. Ilara woke to the smell of herbs and firewood. The camp was quiet, ordered, alive. She sat up too quickly and winced. A woman approached immediately, older, sharp-eyed, kind, without softness. She spoke gently, explaining that her leg would heal, that she had been safe here all night. Safe. The word felt unfamiliar. Taza returned later, bringing food. He did not stare, did not comment on her size or strength. He asked her name, her story, and listened without interrupting. When she told him what the town had said about her, he was silent for a long moment. Then he said, "In my people, strength is not something to apologize for." The words struck harder than any insult ever had. Over the days that followed, Ilara healed among the Apache. She watched women who carried burdens, made decisions, spoke with authority. No one told her to shrink. No one asked her to soften. They asked her to help, and she did. When she finally stood without pain, Taza offered to escort her home. She surprised herself by hesitating. Home had never felt like belonging. Back in the settlement, nothing had changed. The looks returned. The silence. But Ilara was no longer the same woman who had fallen in the dust. She stood straighter now, not in defiance, but certainty. When Taza left, he did not promise anything. He did not claim her. He simply said, "If you choose a different path, you will not walk it alone." That night, Ilara looked at the land she had fought so hard to keep and realized something, painful and freeing. It had never chosen her either. Weeks later, she left. Among the Apache, Ilara did not become someone else. She became more of who she already was. She learned their ways, shared her own skills, earned respect not through beauty but contribution. And when Taza finally stood beside her, not above, not ahead, he did so because he saw her power long before she did. They never called her too big again. They called her strong.